always walk through the houses with the clients, and I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, listen, if you want a house that doesn't have really almost any bugs or dust, we could do a passive house.
Yeah.
If you want a house that has filtered fresh air 24/7, we could do a passive house. If you want a house that has almost no outside street noise, unless you open the windows, we could do a passive house. They didn't know they could have those things.
Welcome to Insider Trading, where we trade insider secrets with experts across all industries that they have learned working behind the scenes. I'm Ravi Kantha with the Kantha Team at SERHANT. With me today is Mike Ingui. He's a good friend of mine. I've known him for a very long time. Full disclosure, he's done a couple of my houses. He is one of the best and most experienced architects in New York City, in the world, an expert on passive building, luxury building. Has a real niche also with New York City townhouses. He's the principal of Ingui Architecture and Design, and that firm, between Mike and his former partner, has been around for 40 years now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
40 years of leading architecture and design and sustainability and luxury in New York City. It's a hell of a run, and I think your business only seems to be growing. Every time I talk to you, you're hiring new people. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, of course. It's exciting. So, Mike, I think a lot of fun stuff to talk about. I think it would be interesting just first, let's get a little introduction. Like, why'd you get into architecture? What is it like, and what kind of stuff you work on? I think it'd be helpful for everyone to hear that.
Cool. I mean, I've wanted to be an architect since super early. I love creating spaces, love renovating stuff. I love creating interesting places for people to be. I love the action of walking from one spot to another and just changing that or shaping that. And I'm an artist as well, so I kind of feel like it's a great way to design in the third dimension and just have fun.
What kind of art do you work on?
Mostly abstract stuff. I've got a subway piece on the L line at 105th Street. It's all glass, but for the most part, it's all abstract.
So
painting.
like painting mostly?
Painting, ink, painting. Yeah, lots of
Nice.
canvas work.
And does it come into your job at all, or is it just sort of like side passion,
All the
hobby?
time. All the time. It's funny. So as a business owner, and I'm sure you've kind of felt the same as a business owner, who's also a designer, you've got to wear lots of hats. So on design days, I'll find myself starting to paint in the morning, being super creative, going into the office, staying creative, trying to keep the business stuff on the side. On the best days, I go back home and I paint again. So it too really it just keeps you artistic, keeps you going, and it's fun. It's a great way to just unwind. I used to have a studio out in the Gowanus, but now the studio is in my house, so it's also super comfortable.
That's a little more convenient. Yeah, I think it's interesting because one of the things I find fascinating about design and architecture, just as an industry, is it's a major business. It's not like being an artist where you just, you paint and then also, like, if you're really good at it, you got an art dealer, you get a gallery who takes care of you and does all the business for you essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, and you just get to be creative. You have to do both.
Mm-hmm.
You're running a business, you got employees, you have to interface with clients, you have to talk about money, talk about costs, right? But then you also have to be creative and do something with a space to make it unique, to make it their own. I find that really interesting. Like, you just mentioned that some days, like, you kind of on a one track, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you find it hard to switch back and forth? Because I will tell you, one of the biggest strengths you've had in our professional dealings, like when we're working together with the same client, you're very capable of having those discussions.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of
Thanks.
People in that business are not,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, it's just, if you're really artistic and creative, sometimes that's not your strength.
Mm-hmm.
So do you find that hard, and you like going back and forth? Are you able to like balance that day to day, or is it one of the challenges? I'm just curious.
Anybody who knows me would laugh a bit at the question. Focusing on one thing is my issue. So yeah, I mean, I live an ADHD lifestyle, which is why I love New York so much.
Yeah.
There's always so much going on here. I love the business end of it. I love the process end of it. I love the implementation end of it. And I love the design end of it. And I really do enjoy bouncing back and forth. That's one answer. But the other answer is, and because you've worked with them, my team is so good. I've gotten to a place, and Ben Baxter, who I was going to work for Ben for like 1 year when I first started with him, like 30 something years ago. I'm old. And And he was just so good and so nurturing. He just kind of lets you work to the top of your ability. We still run the office that way, and because of that, a lot of people just don't leave. So the people I'm hiring are really people to support them. We're up to like 7 really good teams, but it's also put me in a place where I get to kind of design here and then implement there because they're so good that they let me kind of work that way. It's a, I know it's temporary. Nothing in life is perfect, but it's a bit of a charmed existence right now.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because I never told you the way you've done that and built that over the years, Ben, and you, that was one of the models for how I wanted to build my team here.
Oh, cool.
Because I thought it was remarkable how independent so many of your your project managers and some of the people that were leading like design, right? Like they're also independent. Like they
Hmm.
do a lot on their own
Hmm.
and they would just basically come like ping you for ideas or guidance, right? You weren't really directing everything. And when I was thinking about how to scale a real estate business, I thought, man, it would be really great if I had a bunch of brokers working with me who were capable of that and could do that and we could grow and I could help them grow. And then they almost have like their own thing going. But like if I make it both financially compelling and we give them the support that they can't get anywhere else and experience from someone senior who they can't get somewhere else,
Hmm.
then we'd have something special and something unique. And I feel like that's what we're doing now, but you guys were the model for
Yeah,
that.
I appreciate it. You.
So
I know enough of the brokers to know you definitely have done it. For us, we have a couple of like secret things that we do, secret sauces. And they're not that secret because everybody knows because they can't get us. But on Mondays we do meeting days, and so on Mondays we're not only planning the week, but we're all like looking at each other's designs.
sure.
So you're right. I mean, a lot of them. So first of all, I don't hire people who can't design,
Yeah.
and then I learned that you can hire great designers who are also great implementers. And as you know,
It's
uh,
an
it,
unlock.
it's just such a big piece. And then if you don't give those truly talented people enough room to like fly, they're gone.
Right.
And our clients are all expecting us to design fun, great things. That's what they want. They didn't hire us to design, boring stuff. So giving them enough room, but we all look at each other's designs. We all critique them. We have a very opinionated office, and,
That's good.
in a fun way.
That's
Uh,
good. Transparency is really important and
yeah.
like giving criticism, feedback, all that stuff, super important.
Yeah, it's fun. It's become again. I know everything in life is temporary, but right this second, and it's been like this for a while now. So maybe not so temporary. It's been a really nice existence. I know the office works well. The teams are fun, and
Yeah.
I'm getting to work on fun projects. I'm lucky.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the, it's funny, one of the things we've had in common, I think over the years, we're both really discreet about who we work with.
Hmm.
And we won't name names,
Hmm.
but you've got some of the most prominent, you've worked with some of the most prominent names in entertainment, business, whatever, like very high profile people. Um, how is that? I'm curious, like, how did you find yourself in that position in the first place?
Hmm.
Working with A-list actors or musicians and it's titans of industry, right? You've done all of that stuff,
Hmm.
right? Billionaires, all that. How'd you find your way into that niche? Because there are so few people in every industry who access that type of clientele.
Hmm.
Like, I think everybody who's like looking into becoming an architect or a broker or whatever, I think that's the magic question, right? Is like, how do you do it? Like, how do you get in front of those people? And how do you
Hmm.
keep getting in front of those people?
I think a lot of for us it was word of mouth. I mean, what we're really looking at is what's the project, how interesting is the project, what do they want to do? Do they want to do something fun?
Right.
And then from there it just kind of grows, and someone knows somebody who knows somebody.
Yeah.
And the other thing, which I know because you do it well, uh, we would do anything to make that job go well. I am in the land of everything is possible if it's possible. Like
Sure.
just we will really, really work hard to make that happen. And sometimes it's not possible, but and then you do that enough, and you try to be well intentioned.
Yeah.
And also, we've also been really lucky with a lot of our clients. They've been really creative, so they want to do fun stuff.
Right.
The only negative, I'd say, like half the work I've done, nobody will ever see. Um,
I never thought of that. It must be really interesting to work on a project with like a very artistically minded client, right? Like
yeah,
that's a totally different experience.
yeah, and they're way out of the box. I mean, I love thinking out of the
I'm
box.
so out of place in those meetings. I've
But
done those walkthroughs with you. It's like some, musician or actor or
Mhm.
whatever, and you guys just start going, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna make a lot of phone calls later. And
Yeah, I mean, I love it because I mean, for me, if the box didn't even exist, I'd be super happy.
yeah,
So it makes me quite happy. You know, and if they buy into the process that we've developed in the office, which a lot of them do, it helps to kind of put the rails on it enough where the project moves forward. We can still do the crazy stuff, and it's fun. I've got no complaints. It's good stuff.
yeah, that's great. And obviously the discretion helps too, right?
Yes, it
It's,
does.
I've
Yes.
been told many times not naming names is what keeps names coming.
Hmm.
But that's fascinating. And so what's the kind of thinking like obviously we both deal with demanding clients, right? What's the what's the craziest request you've had for like a renovation? Like what amenity or piece of it, like room or something? Like what's the craziest thing someone's asked you to do in a house?
It's really interesting. It's difficult because we're asked to do a lot of crazy stuff.
Well, what's the
Um,
craziest one you've been asked? And what's the craziest one you've been asked and actually been able to complete?
well, I would say right now in New York City, right now, the craziest stuff we are asked to do often is create spaces where you weren't supposed to have them. So which is going down. So
So digging.
we create so many incredible subterranean spaces. A lot of times because landmarks won't let you go up,
Right.
or just it unlocks the whole house or something fun. Um, the clients who come to us knowing what you're getting into when you do that, because it's slow, it's painful, and it's
Digging is
expensive.
always, yeah, it's really
Um,
expensive.
but once you've done it, you've kind of created. So that's a little crazy. Some of the other things that we've been asked to do,
Well,
uh,
going back to that though, what
yeah,
craziest thing you've done underground? Digging. What's the most insane
I don't know.
thing you've created?
It's funny. I'm trying to figure out like what I can repeat and what I can't.
Yeah, tough.
But in terms of I mean, we've done swimming pools, we've done saunas, we've done whole huge gyms,
Yeah,
we've done car parking, we've done
it's crazy.
multiple car lifts, we've done massive screening rooms. Um, we've done one of my favorites though. We did one that was just a really huge. And as an artist, I was super jealous. You know, one massive kind of artistic space with incredible natural light. You would never know you were in the cellar. And
I saw that house, right?
yes, you did.
Yes.
Yes,
That
you did.
space was awesome.
Yeah. So like
Underground with like 22-foot
you just
ceilings and a big light. Like it was incredible.
it's just amazing like what you can create. And what's nice in New York City is it doesn't count towards FAR.
Right.
If you're
Which
building
mean the zoning for
yeah,
yeah, like it doesn't count towards the amount of square footage you can
yeah,
have.
and
Right.
if you've got the right team, I mean, for us, we're also the way we work is we're not design build. Sometimes our projects feel like design build,
Yeah.
but we've got kind of a series of contractors that we love to work with, and we've gotten to know their subcontractors really well. So, like talking about that crazy stuff, you know, it's not really crazy when you have a process. You
Right.
know, yeah, it's crazy. Okay, yeah, let's get over that. What
The
do I?
end
What,
result is crazy,
yeah,
but like the process is now a process, right?
yeah,
Because you guys know what you're doing.
right now we've got two masonry subcontractors that a lot of our contractors work with that don't make that crazy at all. In fact, the last project I did, we kind of set up a situation where from the garden level up, a whole renovation was happening. And from the garden level down, a whole other renovation was happening. They both took their own time frames, and you wouldn't even know. The neighbors wouldn't even know they
Wait,
were there.
so wait, what garden level up?
So garden level up is your typical townhouse. It's a townhouse. Typical townhouse renovation. It's gut renovation. Lots of stuff's happening.
Okay.
It's on its own time frame. They're digging below that house at the same time.
Oh,
A
so there's like
whole other
two
crew,
separate crews.
whole other crew, whole
That's
the world.
wild. Same
And
contractor?
same contractor. But again,
Interesting.
you know, I would never be a contractor. And I don't mind saying it out loud because all my contractors know too. I make fun of them all the
What
time.
a broken industry. It's so hard.
Well, you know, but if you're a contractor, I mean, because nothing ever goes the way they think it's going to go.
No.
But on that project, but so what I do is I'm addicted to contractors who are so good at it. Like they know they can juggle 6,000 things. So I'll give you like I can do this quickly. I walk up to that job. The site super on that job is having coffee on the stoop. What I do job site days where I just kind of walk jobs. I love it. And non-meeting
You get to
days.
see the real estate, right?
Yeah,
And like see how it's coming out.
I need to look. I want every detail to be right. So anyway, and a lot of times my team has also set me up. Hey, go there, check this out. Anyway, I walk up. And he's just sitting there coughing. I'm just talking to him. There is a massive pump truck pumping concrete into the cellar. There is another person on scaffolding fixing the facade to our left. There is a plumber doing the entire level of the garden floor right next to us. Right above us is the electrician doing all of that. And right above them, they're building an addition at the top. He is cool as a cucumber. And then a demo truck comes through with a massive dumpster on a very small block.
Oh my God.
And they're loud, having that coffee, super comfortable, super calm. Because yeah, it was chaos, but he was really good at the chaos.
Yeah.
That job was on target, on time, on budget, and it makes my job easy because then I get to look at the fun stuff.
Yeah.
And so we wind up like finding contractors who can work with us that way, and it changes everything.
Interesting. Yeah, I think it's interesting to hear the comment about like being calm in the middle of chaos, right? Like I think it's like being a parent, right? Like you get used to
So true.
like before you have a kid, you don't really understand that like once you do, you get accustomed to chaos, and work can be the same way,
Yeah.
right? Like where you just get used to it. So people are like, oh, you're so calm. I'm like, this is just every day.
Yeah.
Every day is like this, right? You schedule back to back every 30 minutes. Like that's just a normal day.
And it's also, you asking me some of the more difficult projects that we work on. For me, sometimes it's when we really have learned this lesson, so we don't do it anymore. But it's when we've made the mistake of using the wrong type of contractor. So, for example, we do lots of work out in Long Island. I've got great contractors for that. They probably wouldn't know everything they would need to know about working in the city in that specific spot. They would learn it on their first and second job. They're incredible.
Can't tell you how many people, how many buyers I've had this conversation with where I say like, no, don't bring your Hamptons contract, your Connecticut contractor. They're probably great at what they do, but building, especially so renovating in apartment buildings, condos, co-ops, super complicated. Rules,
well, that was
regulations.
We also, there are house contractors, and then there are people who know how to work in apartment buildings.
Exactly. Two different things entirely, which is why you don't see a ton of overlap sometimes.
Yes.
And then on top of that, you have the townhouse dynamics, brownstone. It's like, oh, we're just going to go into a 200-year-old building. We're going to take it apart and rebuild it while also dealing with making sure we don't knock down the two structures that are attached to us, right? Like it's actually like when you describe it, it's insane. Like we're going to tear this thing down so there's basically just nothing but four walls, two of which are shared with your neighbors.
Yep.
And then we're going to rebuild it in between you guys.
And then also, I mean, as you know, like one of our favorite things to do is take some of these houses, and especially the houses that we're not doing full guts on. We love mixing the old with the new.
Yeah.
You're keeping this piece, but not that piece. This piece, but not that piece.
A transitional design, right? Yeah.
And for better or worse, I also really like working with the neighbors. Talking with them at the beginning, making sure everybody knows what's going on, having communication. I would say 99 out of 100 times people just want to be spoken to. They just want to know what's going on.
But there's that one.
There always is.
I know better than most.
Yes.
But there's that one. I think that's the most interesting New York thing about renovations is how much involvement the neighboring properties have. So we don't live here, like it's just not that dense. Like there's other cities, sure, but it's a unique thing in New York. Like the level of involvement and engagement with neighboring properties, the owners, especially like you got like a co-op building next door. It's like now you're dealing with the board or like 5 or 6 different people. I think that's super challenging.
I think also it's like, again, we're so process driven because it frees us as designers if we've got the process right. For me, it's just following that right process, even with that. Okay, who's a site super? Can I meet with them? Who's the board president? Can I meet with them? And how early can we meet with them? And then I'm a big fan of showing them everything. Because I feel like everybody's afraid of the big bad wolf, and so not being the big bad wolf is really helpful.
There was someone in your office. I remember there's a project that you guys worked on, and someone else on the other side of this. There was a property in the middle occupied by an older woman, and someone had tried to renovate next to her, and it was a total disaster.
Yep, I know the project.
And she had a reputation for being really difficult. And then you did a renovation next to her on the other side. And I'll never forget this. I asked you, probably if you finished it really fast. That was like one of the faster townhouse renovations I'd ever seen. And I asked you, well, how was it like with the neighbor? And your project manager was there. I don't remember who it was, Mark or someone.
Mark.
It was Mark. And I was like, how did you deal with the neighbor? She had such a reputation. And he just said, we just answered her phone calls.
And honestly,
it's so funny to me because but it's such a good reminder of like, keep it simple. Like do what you say you're going to do. I'll answer your calls. I'm available to you. And he did that. And you had no problem.
And what we learned is that the person who had done work with Nextdoor had literally ignored her. and honestly cause some damage to that house. And so, and listen, it's not that we don't. Sometimes things happen. Okay, sounds good. Fix it.
Yeah.
Everybody knows I'm living in the city. I'm working around and in near people. Then fix it. And then for us, because we love to do these kind of fun sculptural spaces, or where we're bringing light through houses, and we're always kind of like looking at what the neighbor has versus what we have, and what we can do and can't do. Just really understanding kind of spatially and with in terms of the design, like what you can do and can't do,
Yeah.
is just so important.
What's the worst thing that's happened on a renovation to you? Like the worst phone call you've gotten,
Oh, besides, I would say,
where like the pit in your stomach, like what?
shutdowns have got to be the worst thing. By a
Just
lot.
any shutdown.
Yeah, by a lot. I mean, the problem with shutdowns isn't typically that you got shut down, because usually every contractor I work with, at least, again, we're pretty lucky, could fix whatever it is that someone was complaining in minutes. And very often we're doing the right thing, but somebody didn't agree with something, or they needed a note in a drawing. The issue is sometimes, and it's gotten a lot better. Sometimes you just can't get back into the city, and you can't go through that process fast enough. The other issue we've had is the examiner has approved one thing, and the inspector who's come to the site doesn't agree with way that examiner has approved that thing.
Right.
And it's two people. That's great, and it's okay when like they say, "Listen, can you all talk to us?" But we've been shut down because they didn't agree, only
That's
to then
amazing.
be brought up again 4 weeks later. We're like, "Oh yeah, he was right. Sounds good. Who's
You
who's
are-
paying? Who's paying for that?"
Yeah. You're so nonchalant about it, but I think like the concept is insane, right?
Mhm.
The same agency tells you, yeah, that's fine. And then they send someone to the property who says, no, it's not. We got to stop this while we sort it out.
Yeah.
And everybody's got to pause.
Yeah, I mean, one of the nice things about doing work out of the city is very often you're dealing with the same one or two people who are doing both. Where that same inspector is the same person looking at your project. If that's the case, great. I mean, I think I've said this to you and other people. I will take 200 objections tomorrow if I could go see you afterwards,
Yeah.
because that just means an extra day of working for my team. No problem.
Right.
They can handle anything. But sometimes it's just in New York City, it's a different person you see, and it's the time that they're available, and it's a bit of a problem. That's probably the worst. I think the other, it's funny, like, for me, for better or worse, I like the problems. So the other is someone walking through and not liking what we thought they were going to like.
Yeah.
That has been changed dramatically. That because now we 3D model everything.
Mhm.
And so that hasn't happened in a long time, but we've had clients where we've realized after the fact they couldn't really read the drawings, and they couldn't really see it, or they could, but now they walked in and they're not happy.
Right.
I have to say though, I don't even mind that. We have a process for that. I love the process. I might like it maybe too much. Well, because it's interesting. It's kind of fun. It's a challenge.
It's a problem. Yeah.
Challenges always been, and I would say on our site, some of the most interesting things that are on our site that people call us about or hire us for
Yeah.
started with a problem.
It's funny. I get sucked into that on our
Mhm.
side too. Like it's the worst use of my time,
Mhm.
but there's some challenging deal or something, and I get in. I got to do it. I gotta win. I gotta figure this out, right?
Mhm.
And like I think if you're high achieving at all and you take pride in your work, you're like,
Mhm.
no, I can fix that.
Mhm.
I just have to take some time with my team, and we'll get there, right? And it's a double edged sword. Sometimes it's good,
Mhm.
and like in your case, like you have to do it, right? Because the client's got to be happy with the
Well,
product.
and I know we did. As we're having this conversation, by the way, I'm thinking about the renovation of my own house. Maggie in my office ran that house, ran that project, and I didn't decide whether I was going to put whether I was going to frame a floor in a specific way until the day they framed it, and I had to be the worst client by a lot, by a lot. And then when I looked at it, I'm like, I should have done the other way, and I switched it.
You're making all the mistakes.
Oh no! Everything you shouldn't do, I did. By the way, my kids now, they're 21. One of the kids, he was like 16 or 15 at the time, and he didn't like something in his room. He's like, "Dad, we could just move the wall here." I'm like,
Yeah.
no, move the bed.
Yeah.
Anyway, but in terms of just even that, that problem doesn't happen a lot anymore because we 3D model. But we'll go there, we'll meet with the client, we'll take a look at it, we'll make sure that we know what they want and don't want. And honestly, some of the solutions that come out of those,
Yeah.
they're cool because sometimes it's just kind of interesting what you can do and what you can't. And I would say again, you get some of the golden nuggets out of that.
Yeah, it's funny. The thing about being you being your own worst client as an architect, like for an architect. I think it's impossible to be a client in what you do. Like I'm the worst, the absolute worst.
You weren't
I
the
don't.
worst, but
Yes, the worst.
you were not. But
No, for real estate brokers, not for an
oh,
architect.
got it. All right.
I can be okay for you guys because I trust.
I was gonna say, I was like, I need to introduce you to the worst.
No, I trust. When you hire an expert, you trust that they're going to do the job. Because it's what I do, I have a very strong opinion about how real estate brokerage should work.
Got it. Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't think any of the brokers I've ever hired still talk to me. So yeah, I get it. All right, so let's shift gears. Let's talk about luxury, passive. So it's funny. Passive. You're an expert on passive house, passive building, right? That's a very specific thing. But what I find interesting about it is, I really see it as like the new luxury. Like it's new luxury building, right?
Yeah.
Like modern day luxury construction is really how I see it, because you can't really if you go out and you say, build me the best version of this, like the most luxurious version of this house, whether it's a townhouse, brownstone, standalone house, whatever. Most of the stuff that you do for a passive house, 90% of it is going to be part of that process, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like that last 10% for certification and all that stuff, maybe not, but like most of it, like the spray foam, new window technology, right? Like filling the gaps everywhere in a house. Like, tell me a little bit about how you got into it, why, and like what's so great about it.
Yeah, so I mean, we've been doing them for more than a decade now, and the reason our clients want them, I mean, I always walk through the houses with the clients, and I'm like, hey, listen, if you want a house that doesn't have really almost any bugs or dust, we can do a passive house.
Yeah.
If you want a house that has filtered fresh air 24/7, we could do a passive house. If you want a house that has almost no outside street noise, unless you open the windows, we could do a passive house. They didn't know they could have those things.
Yeah.
In New York City, a house without bugs and dust, a house that had filtered
Is it
fresh
really
air.
no bugs?
My painting studio is in my cellar. I am in bare feet. Two things. I don't have any heat on in my cellar. I've done no heat, no air conditioning.
Yeah.
And I just don't see bugs. I mean, listen, are you going to get a bug? Yes. I mean, they call their drains and stuff.
All right, so you've had one.
No, but you could. I haven't, thank God. But now I know I'm going to.
I fucking hate bugs. That's like a dream for me.
Now that I said I haven't, I will. But anyway, but you
drive my wife crazy. Have you come out and retrofit our house?
But a lot fewer. Let's say fewer. So and then what happens is you create these healthy houses, and that's what our clients want. Our clients want super healthy houses. I mean, listen. I think if you really want to know, like the insider trading thing, the next thing is healthy homes. Everyone has thought about
wellness.
Everyone has thought about health and wellness.
Huge.
The question is, how do I live in that? How do I live in the healthiest environment I can? And I couldn't do the cellar spaces I do right now if I didn't do a passive envelope below them, because that's how those spaces don't feel like damp, horrible spaces.
So if you had to explain passive building, 30 seconds.
Easy.
What is it?
You fully seal the house so that you're choosing how you get your fresh air. You put a filtered fresh air system in 24/7, which brings you your wonderful fresh air.
And you're sealing because normally in a house, like in traditional construction, there's gaps everywhere.
Everywhere.
Right? You don't see them necessarily all the time.
Everywhere.
But there's air coming into the house, and there's little gaps for all those bugs to
You
crawl
put
through.
your exhaust fan on.
Yeah.
600 cubic feet per minute leaving the house. That air is coming in from somewhere else.
Right.
And from cracks and crevices you'd never put your finger.
Right.
So
so then passive, you're filling all of that in.
you fill it all in, and then you get to choose how you get your filtered fresh air. And you get filtered fresh air, which again, most people didn't know they could have.
You told me it was great for allergies, right?
Yeah, like my wife doesn't use her
That was one of the
medication.
coolest things I learned about. Like that when you told me that your wife stopped having allergies when you moved into your passive house.
In the house.
That's fucking cool.
And then we use great windows that are triple pane, 2 layers of laminated glass. They do it for energy performance, but our clients like it because there's no street noise. And because of that,
especially in New York,
yeah,
you can move bedrooms. I remember that was the conversation when I think we met when you were first getting those windows more and more.
Yep.
Right. And like I remember the first conversation about them saying like we used to have to put bedrooms in the back.
Not anymore.
You were so happy about that.
My bedroom's in the front. And it's funny. I don't do videos. I used to put them on Instagram all the time, where you open the window. I don't
Jim
do
Carrey.
I don't do it anymore.
Ace Ventura's.
Yeah.
Sliding
But
door.
I love when the garbage truck's outside, and maybe like you hear a garbage can dropping. Maybe you hear that.
Yeah.
But you didn't hear the truck at all.
Right.
It's just pretty wild. So these are basically there's a serene, healthy homes, and we use it for that. Now, we use the certification method to get there because everything's better with the process. But these are houses where you're really getting these wonderful environments. The byproduct is they are green. The byproduct is my heat's not on almost all winter.
Right.
There's a lot of money saved. The byproduct is my cooling bill will be less. I mean, you still need to cool and dehumidify in New York. We're in New York,
Yeah.
but they just operate so much better, and our clients are happier. So the clients who have moved into those homes are just in general happier. And then you get to do lots of things like maybe I want an electrified house. I don't want to have the gas in the house. Well, then I've got an even healthier home. And then we're now starting to work with Healthy Material Labs and Parsons and other organizations where we're starting to look at what paint we're putting on the wall, what's my carpeting, all the things that you can have a really truly healthy home. And a lot of our clients, especially the ones who are looking for luxury, they want it and they can have it. And what's really cool about it is some of it's not more expensive. I just literally used something different using the paint on the wall. There's this really cool paint that you can use that is really just a little bit more than Benjamin Moore, but less than Farrow and Ball.
Mhm.
And you use that and it's super healthy. There's just different things that you can do that just make a massive difference. And our clients want oases. They want a cool oasis. They want beautiful spaces. They want all the cool stuff, but they want it to feel healthy
Well, they want the best in the world,
no matter what.
right? Like that's
And
the thing.
and that's how we do it.
Yeah, we don't talk about that enough. I think is
Mhm.
like really not looking to build an average home, building the best.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're like it's a competition in some respects because
Mhm.
all of our clients, the people we deal with, like they're going to other people's homes.
Mhm.
And even though they may not be talking about it, some of them do talk about it, but even
Mhm.
though they're not always talking about it,
Mhm.
they're comparing and contrasting, right? And maybe
Mhm.
another architect did that home or something, and like, or or just walking into it and knowing that they have something that's really special.
Mhm.
I think that matters a lot to the people we deal with. They want something
It really
special and
does.
unique. They want to know it's not cookie cutter, that sometimes it becomes like a reflection of their personality, right?
Mhm.
There's so much that goes into it that we don't talk about, but I think when you deal with ultra high net worth people, very successful people, just you have certain demands that are almost unspoken,
Mhm.
right? Like they don't say, not every client will say like this better be the best fucking house
Mhm.
ever,
Mhm.
but that's what they want.
Yeah.
And
100%.
that's where the pressure is, I think. You get
Mhm.
used to it, so you live with it. It
Mhm.
doesn't like bog you down every day, right?
Mhm.
But
What's nice about it is we have such a good process for doing it, and so many of our contractors do it now that it's just what we do now. It's super easy.
right, the quality is just always
We're
there.
just thinking about
And
design now.
it's
We've gone way past it. We know what we're using on the walls. We know what windows. We know everything.
right,
So
the checklist for passive building. Is it more expensive than doing a regular house?
Not more expensive than the houses we were going to do. So if I'm already doing a high end renovation, I'm already buying nice windows. I'm already buying nice insulation.
Right.
Um,
It's just
um,
different types of that stuff or
but
different techniques.
put the money in different places.
Right. So you don't think it's noticeably more expensive. It's so similar.
On a high end renovation, the only architects and developers who aren't doing passive are the ones who didn't know about it. Once you do, you do. Because I am not buying so many control systems and other things that I would have had to use in
Right.
another house that I'm doing a cost neutral. For like a smaller renovation, it's probably 5 or 10% more. For a larger development, it's cheaper, if not the same.
Right.
Kind of depends on what it is, but the payback is so fast. Well, I mean, funny. I got yelled at recently for talking about payback just in financial terms. Payback in financial terms is so fast.
Right.
The payback in health terms is immediate.
I think
And
that's what to focus on, right? Is like it's a luxury lifestyle. Like
yeah,
building that way, it's a
yeah,
lifestyle. Like,
yeah.
like you're giving people a different experience for their bodies, for their mental health. Like, right. Like that's the idea here is like, and I think that's such a big thing today,
Mhm,
especially with the clientele we deal with, right? You guys, they all want to know that they're getting the best experience in life. And
mhm,
it's funny that, there was an article, I want to say there was a piece in The Economist recently about how the new thing that like ultra high net worth people are spending money on is experiences rather
mhm.
than assets themselves. Maybe
Yes.
not buying as many houses or cars or things like
Mhm,
that or watches, right? But when you build something that is health and wellness oriented and is
mhm,
luxurious to experience, you're basically selling an experience to them,
mhm,
right? Here's your lifestyle for the rest of your time in this space
mhm.
is going to be the best thing ever.
And it works well for our office because what we're designing in general, our experiences. We don't want it to just be a staircase. We want it to be an experience in the hallway. Even
Goes back to
walking,
the artist, right?
yeah, walking from the living room to the kitchen to the dining to the outside, that's an experience. How do I experience the outside? Well, and now I can bring it back into the health of the house as well.
Right.
So all of a sudden they're getting it all. It's not just the operation of it. And then some of the stuff I'm talking about, if you don't do it at the beginning, you can't go back to do it. You
No.
can't buy it at the end. It's a
Right.
process, and you have to have known to do it before you close the wall. It's behind the wall, and it's super not sexy, and I get it. But
But if,
doing that allows me to do double height spaces where I don't have any radiator or ductwork anywhere near
yeah,
me.
it's all about the whole story, the whole
Yeah,
narrative.
that is what frees me as the designer to get that right. So coming back into like the different hats, and it's the sustainability hat, the business hat, and the design hat.
Yeah.
Getting the business down right, and knowing how to and hiring people who are good implementers allows us to be good designers.
Yeah.
And getting that sustainability checklist where it frees us from like ductwork and radiators, frees us as designers, just creates a better setup.
So speaking of like meeting standards of very demanding, successful people, take me back to like when you first started pitching for business from hard charging successful people in finance, the entertainment industry, whatever. Like, what was that like for you? You find it intimidating, you get nervous. Like, how do you go about doing that, especially when you have those different hats, right? Because like for me, it's
Mhm,
kind of like I'm in my lane. Like I understand the basics of like architecture and design now because I've been in this business. But before I
mhm,
started, I had no clue. So
mhm,
I stay in my lane, but you have to kind of jump around. And I feel like the artistic side's part of that
mhm.
pitch. How do you handle that?
I mean, well, one, I'm lucky that I started with Ben Baxt, because I was with him when
The
he
legend.
pitched. Yeah. So and we still really all operate. Everybody operates the same way, where it's really about the project, not about the client, not about the person.
Hmm.
We walk through the space. We talk about what we can do here, what we can do there. Um, I loved walking
Which,
through
by the way, that
spaces.
should be a TV show. I've done that with you many times.
I love doing it. I love
Yeah.
I could walk through houses, and that's how we meet a lot of people, where we're walking through spaces. Here's what you could do. Here's what you could do here. And what's nice about that is you get to know very quickly whether you're going to work with that person or not.
Right.
They also know very quickly whether they're going to like your ideas or not.
Sure.
A lot of people don't do that because they don't want to give away too many of their ideas. I would give them all away if they
I
actually
think
built
that's
them.
crazy.
I don't care if who they build them with, and but very often enough of them hire me, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But it's just so hard not to. You walk in and you know you could do this and that. So I feel like focusing on the space, focusing on the project and what you can do, just trumps everything else.
Yeah.
We've also, again, we've been really lucky. No matter who it is, high net worth individual or celebrity or anything, they've been good. Obviously you've got some.
Couple exceptions.
You've always got a couple of exceptions of people who are difficult. Mostly it's people who don't have time.
I can think of one.
Yeah,
Um,
mostly it's people who don't have time.
yeah.
But I would say, in general, everybody kind of likes it, especially when you can do something fun.
Yeah. What's the actually totally unrelated question? Well, related but not on the topic. What's the biggest mistake people make as homeowners,
Or
like who are
I can
hiring you?
answer this instantly.
What's the biggest mistake they make when they're renovating a house?
Instantly, you can answer this question, which is process. Just the more we can do before a hammer swings, the happier our clients are every time. Especially if we can get through the building department or landmarks or someplace faster.
Yeah.
If you're not ready, if the drawings aren't fully done, if you haven't really designed everything, I mean, it's what I do every day. I don't care how long I spend there.
Yeah.
But you'll spend more time there as a client. You're gonna have to keep up. Now, some of our clients are super good at it. Actually, I've done a renovation with you where we started before we were ready. But you're on. You're always on.
Yeah.
And you can answer the questions. And I've worked with some clients where we did renovations in time that we should never have done,
Yeah.
which people in my office will be super upset that I even mentioned that here
Yeah.
because it's difficult. But it's what we do every day. And on those projects where it happened well, those clients were available. And
Right.
it makes all the difference in the world.
No, you saved our renovation. We got through it.
Mhm.
It was
But
good.
you were available.
Yeah.
You picked up the phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the decisions need to be made quickly.
Yeah, I would
And-
say, it's funny. In our conversation here, communication is like the key thing.
right. So
Uh,
lack of communication, not being ready, starting too fast. That makes sense. People are impatient.
Yeah.
All right, so let's shift gears. Let's talk about family a little bit. You got
Mhm.
2 kids,
Yeah.
2 sons, 2 great sons,
Thank you.
wonderful wife, right? So what's going on with them right now?
They're good. They're both senior years of Michigan.
It's awesome. What are they
Yeah.
studying?
Yeah, it's funny. Dylan's doing urban technology, which is a bit of a mix of urbanism, technology, environmentalism, and so forth. Justin's doing political science and opera. He's a dual major. Justin will probably take an extra semester to get out because it's a dual major,
Yeah,
but it's, it's a pretty wild double major.
that's an interesting combo.
But and I think what's nice about, and then Dylan's also an artist and a singer. They both sing a lot, and I think what's nice about both of them is I think they've realized they can do what they want to do, how they want to do it, and so far in life, life hasn't taught them the opposite lesson. So it's been really nice to kind of watch them grow and kind of do it how they do it. Um, they're good kids. It's fun. They just got home for the holiday, so it's been a fun experience.
Nice. And how's Diane doing?
She's great. I mean, I would say, in terms of like the unlocked, insider trading secret, I don't know that I could have done everything I've done, or we could have done everything we've done without just that level of support.
Yeah,
And just she's just always there. Oh, it's pretty amazing.
I feel the same way about my wife,
Mhm,
Katie. It was interesting. We had our holiday dinner, and one of the younger agents asked her what it's like because like I'm always on.
mhm,
And she's like, "What is it like? Like, does he ever like stop?"
mhm,
And Katie just said, like, you just get used to it. Like, and you learn how to foster it. You learn where to
mhm,
push back, when
mhm,
to tell people, like, put your phone down, be with your kids,
mhm.
right? Because the balance is really hard,
Yeah.
especially when they're younger,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Like, that's the hardest time. They want your attention. You want to give it to them, but then the phone just buzzes and buzzes and buzzes. So I took my phone off vibrate. I don't have that setting
Hmm.
anymore. So now the phone's down. It's actually down, but
Hmm.
it's tough. And yeah, I think you're right. Without support of like a real partner, it's impossible.
Oh yeah, I mean, in business or in life, the right partner is everything.
Yeah.
And I think both with the kids and with Diane, I've been super lucky.
It's great.
They've all been there, and they're all, again. We sit around, we have dinner every night when they are home. That's the other thing that we did as a family. Living somewhere in the city was also the secret sauce of that. We had breakfast at 6 in the morning together. We had dinner at 8 o'clock at night together. Maybe not the best times to have those meals,
Yeah, yeah.
but it kind of kept us together, and we're all talking about our days, and it was
It's
uh, it
great.
was the glue. It was nice.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's good advice. So Mom Donnie's elected.
Mhm.
It's all over the news that, the luxury buyers, the luxury seller, everyone's fleeing New York. You deal with the same types of clients I do. What have you seen? Have any of them brought it up to you? Have you seen any trends, changes, anything serious?
None.
Me neither.
I have to say I find it super interesting. I love watching the news and then living in reality. And I just don't see it. And I walk through a lot of new potentials with a lot of people who are Republicans, a lot of people who are Democrats. A lot of my clients are like, especially the high net worth individuals, are super boisterous.
Yeah.
And like I would know, and there's definitely people who do not agree with some of the stuff that he would like to
I think
do.
most
Um,
most of the people I work with don't agree with most of it.
but they're not leaving. And there's a bunch of the people that I work with who are really excited about some of the environmental stuff that he'd like to bring in, and a
Sure.
whole other contingent, which I have been in touch with, who are really excited about some of the vacant building stock that he'd like to bring back onto the market.
That is exciting. If
It's
he actually does that, that's huge.
so it's funny. I walked through a new potential just yesterday, which is one of these vacant buildings, and they want to bring it back on the market. They want to keep it as a lot of studios, so they can keep it affordable.
Right.
And they're super excited about the possibilities of what he can bring. And I'm in. So like coming back to like full circle and everything we're talking about, if uh, if our office, work on all this high-end residential, can also do something really fun and interesting with an affordable project where we're bringing a building that I think has been vacant and really not used well for years
Right.
online. And some of the stuff that Mom Donnie does is help make that happen. Well, then I'm in. Let's go.
Yeah, sounds like, I mean, I'm with you. More affordable housing, bring
Mhm.
it on. We need more housing of every type. So
Yeah.
I would love it. If you can accomplish that, he's got my support for that.
Yeah.
What Your office also handles interior design. We
Mhm.
didn't touch a lot on that, but how do you find, like, I know you work with designers sometimes.
Mhm.
How's that side of the business and how does it integrate with the architecture?
It's been great. We brought interior design in with Heather Tlev, who's now passed away a little while ago, and the team that's there now is incredible. It's changed everything. We should have brought it in so much earlier. One, our interior design team can handle things that we're not even involved in. There's a lot of development in New York City that just doesn't have any personality, or it doesn't have the right personality.
Yeah.
So very often, like I'm walking through with people who are doing renovations, they're walking through with people who are just asking, how do I make this my own? Even rentals, they know they're going to be in New York City for 2 to 5 years. How do I make this feel like it's mine? And the team that we have is so good at it. And you go on our website, it looks a little eclectic. It's because what they're doing is figuring out what that client wants, what's
Right.
their taste. And I really do enjoy it. It's changed the way our architects have worked, not just with the in-house interior designers, but some of the outside interior designers we work with as well. I mean, I probably work with 10 or 15 really fantastic interior designers and 2 truly like next level interior designers. And it just helps. It helps when architects know how to include people. We're also a really collaborative office.
Mhm.
And that's helped us learn how to be even more collaborative with interior designers. I mean, the secret sauce there, again, insider training, start everybody at the beginning.
Right.
Everybody's in every meeting.
Right.
Everybody wants
Don't
to be
bring a
in.
designer in to the last 10% of the project.
Oh yeah, and it's not fun for the designer. It's not fun for us. Like, and a lot of people, well, I don't need the designer for this meeting. I'm like, yes, you do. I mean, we're not wasting that much time. The designer gets to see what we're talking about on this end. They get to see what we're talking about on that end.
Right.
And those projects, they just feel super cohesive.
Right. They work better.
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna play a quick game. This or that. Townhouse renovation or ground up build.
Townhouse renovation.
Okay. Landmark building or not?
Landmark building.
Really?
I know them too well.
Oh, you're the only person on earth
I know them.
who wants to deal with landmarks.
You know what? We work with them at the beginning. Again, it's process. Work with landmarks.
All right.
Not against.
Open plan or defined rooms?
Open plan.
Open plan. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All glass or sort of, selectively placed windows?
It's funny. We do a lot of glass on our buildings.
Yeah, yeah.
But I really like defined spaces and defined moments and the right scale.
Sure.
Getting the right scale is super important. And it's possible. You can have them both.
Yeah. Well, my old house, we did.
There you go. Yeah.
Where should people spend money, on the infrastructure or on their finishes?
Oof.
If they had to choose where to put more money.
I hate saying it, but it's infrastructure. And I can tell you what we do. The first thing we do is we look at the infrastructure of a house. And for some clients, some of the projects would require so much infrastructure work that they won't have the money to spend on the finishes we know they want. They're not selecting the right house.
Got it.
So for us, really making sure that we've got one. I'll give you the example when we have done the opposite, where we should have done the infrastructure, but we knew they wanted all this cool stuff in the interior.
Yeah.
And we're designers. It's what we want to do.
Right.
It haunts you forever.
Yeah, backfires.
Mhm.
All right. Brooklyn brownstone or Manhattan townhouse?
I like them both.
You can't choose.
No, they're fun. And honestly, not different. No, I mean, just different neighborhoods are different. I mean, I could say, different neighborhoods have their different charms.
Yeah.
And different communities you've got to work with. But they're both fun.
Yeah, I agree. Trending design or timeless?
Timeless every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you've got to do fun stuff in there.
Yeah.
Which will be trending. That's life.
That's true.
And what if you can create the new trend? I'm in.
That you're one of the few people that can say that.
Well, who knows?
Yeah.
That seems super self-serving.
Yeah. Well,
I want to create it. Yes.
We're all in sales.
Yeah, sure.
Shameless self-promotion. Last question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What is the one secret about successful architecture that nobody knows that you would share with them?
Oh, that's a toughie.
Go.
Oh, it's a boring answer though, but it's a good one.
What is it?
Communication and meeting weekly.
All right. Consistency.
It will free you to do everything else you want in life.
Yeah, good communication.
It is just, it is the secret sauce, and it makes everything seem like you're the best thing in the universe and that you're always on.
Yeah.
But it's a weekly meeting, so you're not always on.
Right.
And it's so boring, but it's the right answer. My equal answer would be to make sure that you are leaving room in your space to design something fun. Sometimes you get focused on the big picture. You're focused on like that moment. You're focused on the issues or the larger project or budget, very often budget, and just making sure that like you've got time and energy and space and budget to do that fun thing you want at that moment. because you'll remember that moment. You see the moment,
You live it.
you live it. And you always ask people, what do you like so much? It's that moment. It's the thing that they remembered. It's that thing
Right.
that you got, and just leaving space for it, both mentally, monetarily. That would be an equal one.
I get it. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Well, Mike, that's all we got today. Thank you for joining us
Thanks.
on this episode of Insider Trading. If anybody wants to see any more of Mike's work or get in touch with him, you go to inguiarchitecture.com and you can see some of those amazing renovations and reach him there.
Thanks. This has
All
been
right.
fun.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.